last few days, so we'll try and keep this to as quick as we can. What I've given you is a sheet here that says defence starts on the top, and so I'm doing defence starts and attacking starts. So I'll go through, there's points there that we'll go through, and I'll just elaborate on them. So whatever questions you want to ask, if you don't understand anything, this is in my language, and obviously it's the terminology you use at your own clubs is going to be a bit different. So you're better off writing down in your language, and you just can take it home with you. I don't mind, and use it if you need to use it. But typically, I'll just start with defence at the back of the field. So kick reception, we kick downfield, and how we want to start the game. We kick off, and how we want to start the game. You win games on the back of good defence. That's no secret, and it doesn't change no matter what level you play at. And that's what I want to say to you here today. The basic principles of the game and the principles of play don't change. From playing for Australia, for playing for New South Wales, to under 18s, to under 16s. All the principles of footy are the same. And the game ain't changed that much in the last 20 years. It's still a game of possession, it's still a game of completions and field position. You dominate games on the back of your defence. How you start a game, I've got here, and it's the first point. You set the theme for the game and set the theme for how you're going to go by your first set of D. And you know by a team's kick chase how enthusiastic they are, their wrestle, their line speed. You know, you breed confidence on the back of that, and that's got to be the first thing we get right at training. One, you've got to be fit to be able to do it. Two, it's all about attitude. Defence is all about attitude. If you've got blokes in your side who don't want to put in the hard work or do all that stuff first, you're not going to win games. The whole game revolves around the ruck, and that's our second point here, is slowing the ball down to allow the line to get set and dominate the next ruck. In a game of footy, in a set of 6, it's hard to get the set back if you lose the first ruck. So you kick chase down. If it's a legs tackle and a quick play the ball, the first one, and the next one you've got Blake Ferguson jumping out of dummy half, skirting around the ruck, another legs tackle, quick play the ball, you're going to lose the set. They'll roll to halfway, your kicker's dictating to you where he's going to put the ball, your fullback can't catch it on the full, and it just snowballs. And you eventually lose momentum, and it's very hard to get back. Your first 2 plays in defence are so important. So after a kick chase, we always had a rule, kick down the corner, your 2 markers, whoever made the kick chase has got to get that, make that tackle from marker, and the dummy half runner can't get outside C. When I talk about, we use, if that's the ruck there, we use, that's A defender, B and C. So A, B and C. Then we go X, Y, Z. That being your halfback, and vice versa on the other side. You can't see that centre winger. So when we kick chase, say we've got him down in here, big kick down here. We can't let this dummy half runner get outside C. We need to keep, say Blake Ferguson's running out of this corner, we've kicked it down in there. Whoever the C defender is needs to push up really hard and keep him on his inside shoulder. You'll win that first play. You've got a nice compressed line, all right, on your kick chase, because they're not going to have any of their forwards be on the ball on play 1. Their front rowers won't be back till play 2 or 3. So there's no use to filling the field up. Defend half the field, nice and tight, and get some good line speed, and you keep them in the corner. If you win play 1 and play 2, you'll win the set. They'll be kicking from their 40 and you're a chance. And you're a chance, you're giving your fullback and your wingers a chance to catch the ball on the full, which will start your set in the front foot. You lose play 1 and 2, Darren Lockyer's putting it down in the corner, you're picking it up off your try line. Your set's rooted already. So it's just so important. And those things can be practiced at training and off the back of some fatigue drills. And it's just repetition, and it's drilling it into their head about your kick chase. It's so important. You kick in the corner and dominating those first few rucks. You wrestle, and we're trying to get away from the word wrestle. Like it's become a part of the game that some people don't like, and it's a necessity these days. If you want to slow the ruck down, you need numbers in the tackle, and you need to be controlling the ruck. So we've gone away from saying wrestle to our kids. We don't want them screwing blokes' heads off or do anything like that, but we do want them to control the ruck. I'm not sure if you've got a wrestling session or a control session later in the week with your defence, but when we go out on the field, we'll show you some little things just about getting your head in there, getting a lever and using your body weight to dominate them. And they're all little things. These are all little things that add up to a big result in a footy field. And, you know, little things at the back of the field help you gain your field position, help you get to the front of the field. And it just snowballs, as I said. So if we're controlling the ruck, it's going to allow, at the back end of that set, kick pressure, which we need. When we have got our kick pressure, we always kick pressure from the inside out, never from the outside in. Does anybody understand that? So our kick pressure's got to come from marker, or it's got to come from A or B. So if you're kicking the footy and the ruck's here, I'm kick pressuring you here, not outside in. And the reason why, does anyone know? That's it. If you get beaten on the outside, you're in all sorts, because your winger's 30 metres back. Anyone here, Peter Sterling on the coverage, never kick pressure Darren Lockett from the outside. And that's why. Because if you get beat, you're rooted. So always from the inside, and that's a rule. You make all these little rules, your marker stuff on your kick chase, don't let him outside see, kick pressure from the inside, and all these little rules, you don't get yourself in trouble and shit tries scored against you when there's nothing doing. Markers, our marker play as we come down the field, and Cameron Smith's a perfect example. Mearsy, for those of you who don't know, Mearsy played a lot of first grade at hooker, and he'd know what I'm talking about. When you got the ball at hooker, you want the markers to engage, to sink in on you. And by that I mean, if I'm Cameron Smith coming out at 2 markers, I want that marker to come at me. And what that does is open up a big gate behind the ruck. All right, so we don't let any of our markers engage. So all our markers, if Mearsy was coming at me or Cameron Smith, we're going left or right, and we're taking a step out and we're shadowing the dummy half. All right, he wants me to go like that, to open up that gate behind the ruck. And it puts too much pressure on A, too much pressure on your ruck defence. These blokes, your front rowers, you've got to look after them. They do a lot of work, and you don't want to be putting them one-on-one with a back rower punching him behind the ruck. So we shadow our dummy half. He won't run into you if he does tackle him, obviously, but your line will have picked you up. Okay? So a good example of that would have been a Craig Fitzgibbon or a Adrian Morley, Steve Simpson, against the grain, back in behind the ruck. Danny Badiris getting out and dropping them in there. So our markers never engage. Okay? The only time we want our markers chasing really hard is if it's a pass off the deck and you've got a front rower, one out, we get out and spear at his legs, the line will pick you up. Only time. Or if, and I'll get into this later, if your first receiver is, say, Jonathan Thurston's there and he hasn't got any inside support. If he's got inside support, you can't go out at him. He's got no inside support, you go at him hard from the inside because he can't beat you. It'll make more sense when I go into the attack, say what I do if someone does that. Our patterns in defence, we normally, most clubs, and we have it in the origin and everything, we'll go in with 3 patterns, 3 or 4. It should be up and out or slide, which everyone's familiar with. Be up and in. It'd be a negative defence is when you're really in trouble, and we just want to we'll give them 20 metres, we'll give them 15 metres or 10 metres to close it down. We don't want blokes coming out of the line. No one ever comes out of the line.